Greetings from the Southern Yankee Homestead. If this is your first time, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. So, as you can see here, I have a bunch of tomatoes, and this is not all the tomatoes. We have so many tomatoes that are coming off our garden. It is absolutely amazing. And all these tomatoes are not what I planted this year. These are from our volunteer plants. I think we've got over 12 volunteer plants that are just humongous and going all over the place, loaded with tomatoes. So today we went out and we picked some more tomatoes, and I decided I have to make a whole lot of stock. I've got venison bones, I've got duck carcasses, chicken carcasses, and fish. I have to make a lot of stock, and I said to myself, well, if we're trying our best to be as self-sufficient as possible, guess what I've got outside? A whole lot of tomatoes. So I told Han, hey, I'm gonna make tomato paste for our stock instead of going to the store and grabbing a couple cans of tomato paste. So here I am, getting ready to make tomato paste. Now the recipe that I'm using is gonna be referencing from this Bald Blue book. This is the recipe we're going to be using from this book. That way you guys have it. I know a lot of you keep asking for recipes. Yep. So the first ingredients, the main ingredients, is obviously tomato. Here I pre-weighed off camera. I washed it, took the stems off. So this is 14 pounds of tomatoes. That's what you're going to need to make this recipe. And according to this recipe, it'll make 8 half-pint jars. So that's more than plenty I'll need to make
64
stock.
64 ounces.
So 64 ounces if you're wondering. That's a lot of tomato paste, and I'm probably going to be utilizing all of that tomato paste to make our stock. So continue watching to see how I put all this into a tomato paste that you buy from the store. Sauce pot, nice deep sauce pot. So I'm just gonna go ahead and halve these tomatoes. Alright, so I have all the tomatoes chopped up. I have just a little bit left here on the board. And as you can see, my pot is full. So this is not the ideal saucepan. If you have a wider pan, that will be ideal. Ours is just narrow and tall. This is the pot that we have currently, and this is the pot we're gonna use to get what we need. So I'm gonna have this simmer a little bit, maybe. All right, so it has been 2 hours, and this is what our tomatoes paste look like right now. So it's been 2 hours. So the next thing I'm going to do, I am going to be running this through my vegetable juicer, KitchenAid, to get the skin and the seeds out. So this is all the juice we got. It's a lot of juice. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pour this back into the pot, put it on the stove, and then we're going to regrind this and see how much more juice we can get out of this in the second try. Alright, look at all the extras we end up getting just from running it again. Alright, we're gonna put all this in our pot, and we've got our pot simmering right now. We're gonna simmer it for 2.5 hours and go from there and see where it's at. It also calls for 2 sprigs of bay leaf. So I've got some bay leaves on the dehydrator right now. So I'm just gonna use these stems in here instead.
That's basil.
Yeah, basil. I'm sorry, basil. All right, 2 garlic cloves, 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. Then we have it on medium, and we're gonna let it cook this way for another 2 hours. And be sure to stir occasionally so that it doesn't stick and burn to the bottom. So we've had this simmering for about 6-8 hours. And if you can remember, it was all the way up here. And this is what we've had right now. Can continue to simmer this down for another couple of hours, maybe 2 or 3 hours. But I am actually using this tomato paste to make our stocks. So I am not going to simmer it any longer. It says from this batch I should have about 8 half pints. So looking at this, I am pretty sure it's about 8 half pints. So I'm going to go ahead now and pour it over into pint jars, and I'll be 8 hours.
Well, I don't know how much they're going to be able to hear. Alright, off camera, went ahead and pulled the basil stems out. And another thing in this recipe that Hun was tired last night, so she made an error. I think she said 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. It was actually supposed to be 4 tablespoons of lemon juice. 1 teaspoon of acetic acid. Or citric acid. Citric acid. Don't use vinegar. Sorry. We're both messing this up. Let me shut up and try this again. Hi, how are you? So, one of the errors last night. So, yeah, we don't care. We're cooking with it. There's some stems in it. We're good. One slight error from last night. Hun was tired when she was doing this. It was actually 1 spoon.
No, honey, it's 4.5 tablespoons.
4.5 tablespoons.
And I told them 1 teaspoon by error.
Of lemon juice, or 1 teaspoon. Yeah, I need to have the book in front of me for this. We'll get it right one of these takes. So we ended up with 3 pints plus a half pint. So a total of 7 half pints of tomato paste. What is that in? That's 2, 4, 6, 7 cups. So that'd be approximately
16 times 7.
16 times 7?
Yeah, 16 ounces in a pint.
Then it's 32, 48 plus 8, 56. So here's 56 ounces of tomato paste from 14 pounds of tomatoes. Give you an idea of the breakdown on that. Yeah. One error that was made last night, I'm grabbing the book so I can read this. Hun said 1 teaspoon of citric, or I'm reading out of the book and I still jack it up.
1 teaspoon of lemon juice, but it's supposed to be 4.5 tablespoons.
See, but you're having me do this, and I haven't done any of this, so I'm still getting the recipe down.
Well, I got you.
So, in error last night, Hun said 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. It was supposed to be 4.5 tablespoons of lemon juice, or 1 teaspoon of citric acid.
Bingo.
That only took 6 tries. So, in the event that you're going to continue this, we're not, because we're going to be using this almost immediately, so it's going into the fridge. By this weekend, all of this is going to be used up. But if you want to water bath it, So for half pint jars are going to be 45 minutes. 1 inch above it in a water bath. Again, we're not water bathing. These are going right into the fridge and they're going to be used in the next couple days. So there's tomato paste. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye. And I hope you can hear me over the angry baby. It's her bedtime. I know someone's keeping you up again. But there's tomato paste. You're making this difficult, Eve. You don't care?